What's up, DJ Sabby?
What's going on, bro? Oh, this is LTV's. LTV's is Morocco Omari.
Pleased to meet
Hey,
you.
hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And yourself, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a minute since I've been down to SA, man. It's been a long time.
I saw you up north, like sometime last year. You were in Kenya.
I was in Kenya, Uganda. I just got back from Rwanda earlier this month. I bought some land down there.
Whoa.
There. Yeah, so I'm looking to build a house later this year.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
You're living every South African's dream. What's the hashtag? Bring back the land.
Bring back the land. but
get the land back. Yeah, gotta get the land.
Decision though.
Huh?
What inspired the decision to buy some land and build property in Africa?
Well, I mean, you figure this. I'm the first to get back to the motherland, get back to the continent. And then I'm the first one to buy land since we were kidnapped, since we were stolen, since we were enslaved. So hopefully that means something to every ancestor who tried to get back and who wanted to get back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And, you know, and inspires the next generation, my daughters, and their when they have kids and so on and so forth. So we'll never, you know, the next generations will never not know what it was like to not be in the motherland. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, because my mom has never been back. My dad has never been back. My grandparents, they've never gone back. So I'm the first to break that curse. Wow. So, and then there's a feeling, even in South Africa, I've been to 15 countries in Africa. There's a feeling of, I just feel like I belong. You know, I feel like, you know, when I get off that plane, I breathe the air and I put my feet on that ground and I feel that soil and I see the people, man, you're just like, man. And the way our media is set up, you know, growing up, watching different movies and cartoons and how they made Africa looked, it didn't inspire any African Americans to want to go back, you know? So, like, I've been bringing people every time I go, I'm bringing two or three people back just so they can see that the lies that were told are untrue, you know? So anytime I'm not working, anytime I have time on my hands, I'm back on the continent because I just miss it. I miss it so much. And, you know, like, I mean, I've been to Cape Town and Cape Town is a little different. You know what I mean? It reminds me of America, you know what I'm saying? And there is a entitlement in this country. I mean, you guys seen what happened with the Capitol.
Yeah.
You know, what happened on the Capitol steps with, you know, what happened inside the Capitol and what's going on in our country. And if that was the BLM movement or people of color, it would have been a lot of bloodshed. You know, we get killed for less. You know, with George Floyd and a fake $20 bill, you know, Trayvon Martin going to the store with some Skittles and, you know, it's just like, it's senseless. And to raise the next generation, and you know, my youngest daughter is 11, and she's very astute and very in tune, and you know, and she's an empath, so she feels. And you don't want her to grow up not trusting people because of what's going on in this country. And when I go, and I'm not saying that there isn't any trials and tribulations or problems on a continent in each country, you know, you're gonna meet some shady people. You're gonna meet some people that wanna try to take advantage of you or you know, see you as just, oh, this American and or your paycheck or some money that they can get from you. I'm not saying that you don't fall into some kind of trap, but when I'm there, man, I feel like home. There's a humanity that has been lost in our culture in America. There's a humanity, man. I mean, when I go to different countries, I'm invited to homes, people are cooking, they're fighting pick me up from the airport. And like when I land in Chicago, we have 2 airports, and it's like, yo, I'm coming to Chicago. Which airport you coming to? O'Hare. Oh man, O'Hare. Come on, man, that's too far. You're just like, all right, you know what I mean? So I can feel it in my soul and my spirit, man. And you have to listen to that. You know, I always listen to my intuition, always listen to my soul, always listen to my spirit. And if it feels good on me, then it must be a good place to be. You know what I mean? And I was in the Marine Corps. I fought for this country. I fought a war for this country. I came back. I literally, and no, this is not a lie. I came back from fighting a war and I got pulled over by the cops just for making a 3-point turn. And so what did I do? He said, a 3-point turn. I said, man, I'm picking up my aunt. And he saw my military ID and he was like, oh, we're sorry. I didn't do anything wrong, man. You know what I mean? But you can get harassed and arrested, and you just, you know, and there's some great things about it. I'm just not going to kick America in or anything like that. It's allowed me my grind and my grit and my perseverance, and it's made me stronger mentally and physically. You know, but you know, you just at the end of the day, we just want to be human. Just be treated like a human being. I don't want to be treated, I'm an outlaw because of the color of my skin. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's you know, my parents fought that. They fought, you know, integration, and my grandparents fought, you know, Jim Crow, and my great grandparents. I mean, it's a never ending fight, you know, of just to be human, just to be some kind of fairness, just to live happily. And, you know, and it creates a strain, it creates a PTSD, it creates a distrust. And it's unfortunate. So for me, I'm like, I need to go home, you know, and just be a human being with no judgment, you know, and that's all. I mean, that's all we want, man. Just, you know, build your house, raise your family, and live life and enjoy, you know. So
it's beautiful that you feel that way, but oftentimes when we hop onto Twitter, and I mean, the internet has given us access to everyone around the world, but oftentimes we have the diaspora wars, and it's beautiful hearing you speak about coming back home and calling Africa the motherland, and then South African Twitter or African Twitter gets into it with American or Black American Twitter, and suddenly when we say we're all equal, there is the one Black is better than the other Black. And we'll banter, and there's sick jokes that are being made. Like I'll see South Africans talking about how it's so easy for a Black man to be killed in America, and they'll throw it back to us how we don't have internet and how there's flies sitting on our mouths and we're starving. So when you speak with such reverence about the motherland and loving it so much, what's your take on the diaspora wars that we often get into? And I don't know if it's our age group that are like that, but like, how would you say we can curb it or start loving one another properly without the fine line that divides us?
You know, and I can't really, like, you know, you just like, I would love to be able to solve the problem. And I was unaware of that. But I noticed that prior to people going to someone else's country, they make all these assumptions. If you go, then you have a different mentality. So who's ever making these assumptions is not talking about flies. It's just like, what? I've been to 15 countries. And I've never seen a fly just sitting on someone's head. Never. So you know, it's always people who say, oh man, you know, Africa's dangerous. And you say, well, have you been? Well, no, but I heard. So I can't listen to that person. You know what I'm saying? If you've never been, then why am I taking advice from you? You know, why would I take advice from someone who's never been, who's never even tried to go, probably don't even have a passport. You know, I got people in my family, and I grew up in Chicago. And they were like, aren't you, you know, Africa's dangerous. I said, really? I said, how many people got shot over Memorial Day weekend? Or how many people get shot in the streets of Chicago? That's not happening on the whole continent of Africa. Was it 54 countries? We have one city that's doing more homicides or more shootings than the whole country. And you're telling me that Africa is more dangerous than Chicago? No, it's not true. But these are people that have never been. They only get what the media wants them to see. And one brother was like, man, I heard Africa's this and I heard Africa's that. I said, listen, how does the media show African Americans? Is it kind? He's like, nah. I said, do they show us in a positive light? Nah. I said, then why would you think that they would show Africa in a positive light if they won't even show their own countrymen? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was like, oh. I said, yeah, man, you gotta, it's really that mind. When people control your mind, they don't have to control your body anymore. You know what I mean? They can make you think whatever they want to because they've just instilled it from, I'm serious, since I was a kid watching cartoons. Anytime you saw like Bugs Bunny, you got, oh, yeah, they're in Africa and, you know, these cannibals and the nose, you know, the bones through their noses and, you know, this gibberish they're singing. Mm-hmm. You know, Tarzan, King of the Jungle, you're like, one white man came to Africa and now he's the king. Really?
Really?
You know what I mean? We got all these Zulu warriors and Maasai warriors. You know what I'm saying? I saw a brother in France, man. He was a doorman. And I got nice size on me, but I walked up to this dude had to be about 6'5", 6'6", and he was like this. He had his tribal scars, and I say, yo, my brother, where are you from? He said, Senegal. I was like, yo. That's like these dudes are like, yo, man, right. You know, as you can see, when we're able to play the game, we have a tendency to dominate the game. You know what I mean? So the trick is to trick the mind or say, oh, you're not good enough, or you're less, or you're dumb, or Africa is full of savages and they don't know anything. Or you're just like, man, I go to Africa, man, and I get an education every time I go. You know what I mean? It's some of the most brilliant minds that I've just sat with. And I'm just like, I spend hours with elders and I'm just like getting an education like, whoa, this is amazing. You know what I mean? Because you have this worldly and another view and another lens on life that when we're in our American bubble, we just think, oh yeah, we are, you know, they build it up like, oh, this is the greatest country on earth. And you have to ask yourself, well, who are they referring to? You know what I mean? I did a play one time. I'm in the theater. I signed some autographs. I'm signing autographs. These women, they left out. I'm signing more autographs. I came out and I'm walking in my car. The same women that I signed the autographs, they thought I was, yeah, man. And I just signed their autographs. And I was like, you ladies have a good night. And they were, oh, I'm like, no, it's too late now. You thought I was some kind of bad guy walking down the street. And you just watched me 2 hours on stage and asked for my autograph and said how much they love my performance. Get outside, it's like, oh my God, you know, I'm the boogeyman walking down the street now. I'm a black man on the street again, and which I am. I'm a black man on the street. And it's been, you know, instilled that we're predators or super predators or, you know, and it's like, you know, they changed the narrative. We're the ones that's being hunted. We're not the hunters. Yeah. You know, and for those that do, it's just like, well, when you stack people on top of each other and you don't give them a appropriate education, appropriate markets in their communities, and, you know, put money into the communities and after school programs, and you're conditioning us to be, you know, to figure it out, or you put drugs in our communities. So we have to figure it out. You know what I mean? So I just, had to stop believing the lie that they fed us.
Yeah.
And I'm, luckily I've had a few friends that trusted me and said, man, I'm like, listen, if you do not enjoy your trip, I will refund your money. And everybody that I brought, my cousin, I've been trying to get him to go 10 years. For 10 years, he just went with me in December. And he said, man, this was life-changing. I said, yeah, it is. It is. So for the people in the Twitterverse, man, until they step on the soil, and you can't go to Africa and try to stay at some resort and, I'm gonna stay in a resort. No, you got to get out there with the people. You know what I mean? You got to go to Soweto. You got to get down and walk with the people, man, and just get that energy and that feeling. And same with Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, Nigeria, Burundi. You get out there with those people, man, and you'll see that love and that, and you'll see that it was all lies. So I can't say, oh, well, people always, well, what country do you like the best? It's like, I don't have a favorite country, but I landed in Rwanda. Rwanda is the first place that, I'm buying land in, and I hope to buy land in different, other different, countries around the continent,
Having traveled the continent so much, 15 countries and being a famous figure, do you sometimes forget the fact that you are famous when you're in Africa, or you find yourself being part of the continent, people admire and show admiration for your work, Does it happen? Did it happen in some of the countries that you went to, or it's something that you reminded of the most when you are in America?
Yeah, I don't wake up or go to bed thinking, oh, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
Or, it's one of those things that I've been living in my body for so long. First play I did was in 95. The first time I was on TV was 97. So we're talking about, 25 years of stage and 23 going on 24 years of being on TV. So it's like any job. I go to work, I go home, I go out, I hang, and then people remind you that, oh my God, you're like, what's wrong? Somebody, is Denzel here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I don't think about it until someone reminds me, and I'm like, oh yeah, oh, thank you. And it's not like, because some actors like being a celebrity. They like being a celebrity. They like going around with the glasses and the entourage and going in the club and having VIP status and popping bottles and all that. And great, man, if that's what you want. I'm kind of low key, man. I'll walk the street with the people. My hero was Muhammad Ali. And it's just like, let me get out there with the people. You know what I mean? And the more I walk around the people, the more they'll be comfortable. Like, oh, there go Morocco. What's up, man? It's just like, hey, man, what's going on? The beautiful thing about what they say being famous is being able to talk to kids or be able to talk to people on the wrong road, or giving back, or what I'm saying, making a way for others. That's the beautiful thing about it. Interviews for me is a job. I'm like, no interviews, man. Oh God, what am I gonna say? Because you don't think, oh, I got something special to say to people, or my life is special. I don't look at it like that. Like, oh, I'm special. Let me say and give back these nuggets of, my intellect. No, it's, man, I'm a student of the game, a citizen of the world, a child of God, and I love Africa with all my heart. You know what I mean? So I don't think that I'm bigger because what I do. When you got doctors who are saving people's lives, I'm entertaining you. You know what I mean? We're here to entertain, and it gives me a platform to talk to people.
You just mentioned the work that you've done as an actor, be it on the stage or even in front of the camera, and you've got such an extensive body of work. How have you remained versatile and kept it fresh through all these years with a career spanning over 2 decades?
And it made me sound old. It does sound like I'm old, right?
I'm sorry.
Keep refreshing, you're so old, man.
25 rather.
Well, you know what? That's where the traveling, like when I travel, I hear all these different stories. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, or I'll run into a filmmaker and you're just like, oh, what's the movie? Oh, wow. You know, it's all, you know, what KRS once said, he said, it's called edutainment. I'm educating you and I'm entertaining you. So I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know about this. You know, I didn't know about that. Let me, you know, and you know what? It's, Bob Marley said, in the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty, right? In abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. And I lived in LA, and you just like, you have times where nothing's happening. You're not working, auditions are slow, and you're just like, man, I'm waiting for someone to give me a job. And that's how I was like, oh, well, let me write something. And I wrote something and I let a few people read it and they were like, yo, let's shoot this. So I produced my first short film, you know, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm a writer and producer now, you know, and it aired on what we have, HBO. I don't know if you have HBO, but it's equivalent to, you know, one of the premier channels in SA. And then I started directing and I started teaching. It just kind of morphed into something else. But it was basically me being an open vessel and saying, you know, because I run into actors like, I'm just an actor. I can't, no, I don't write, I don't do this and I don't do that. And then you block it. And then you would block, you know what I mean? It's like me telling my daughter, try this. I don't like it. Have you tried it? No, I don't like it, Daddy. Well, just try it. You know what I mean? And if she tries, she's like, oh, I like that. You're like, okay. So it's like me stepping into a new form of the profession. There's so many different things you can do inside of entertainment. And I was just like, well, let me try it, you know? And then it becomes out of necessity. It's just like, well, I'm tired of calling people to edit something. Let me learn how to edit. You know what I mean? So it just comes out of that. Like, let me learn it. And, you know, if you say, okay, I can do it if I train my brain and my mind and I put in that work. You know what I mean? You have to say, okay, let me learn a new tool. And if you come out of like this, you come out of COVID and you haven't learned anything new, something's wrong with you. Because you've been locked down, you're just like, man, I got to learn something. You got to come out of this whole pandemic with something different. At least wrote a script, or, you know, as a writer or an actor, you got to like think of something else, because, you know, I don't want to rely on other people to give me a job. Let me create the job. And that's one of the beautiful things about being on the continent. You're just like, they're not waiting. You know, you got people with businesses. You're just like, I mean, well, oh, wow, okay. You know, and they be in their 20s. You're just like, oh, you own a spy and you own, okay. You know, so I'm inspired every time I come, because young people are doing it and they're not waiting for a handout. You know, a lot of times we as African Americans, we're just like, all right, I'm gonna go apply for this job. Or I don't really hear like, yeah, I'm trying to get this business going, you know, or I'm trying to do this as a businessman. It's very seldom I hear that. You know, we're too busy making somebody else's business richer or you know, bigger or something like that. We have great minds and we can just do it ourselves, you know. And then the few that do, when you look at a Diddy or Jay-Z or Oprah, and the list goes on and on and on, you're just like, oh, but there's millions of us, but we just get locked into, I need to get a job and work and pay my bills or pay for my, you know, fashionable clothes or my expensive cars. And then we get locked into that. Like, you know, you're a slave to whatever you desire. You know, so I try to keep costs low and and not have to be dependent on, you know, doing different movies, doing different roles, and having to get a side job, a side hustle. I just try to keep it, you know, low.
You know, after playing, you know, the character on Empire for so long, and then you've played You played on P Valley. We saw your work over there. Are there any traits from the characters you've played that you ended up bringing into your real life, or you always keep?
Yeah. I mean, like, Tariq on Empire, he was just this quiet, he was kind of shady, and he had this like quiet intensity. So there was things about my own personality. I'm quiet, if someone gets on my bad side, I can have a quiet intensity. I can whisper in someone's ear and be like, look here, player. We can talk about this, or we can step outside, especially in my 20s. I'm getting older, so I don't, you know what I mean? I laugh a lot. I'll be like, all right, bro, it's cool, man. Don't worry about it. Big L are like a bunch of my uncles, even my mother. My mother wears gold rings on all her fingers. So Big L has these, I told the costume guy, the props guy, I was like, give me a bunch of gold rings. I need a ring on almost every finger, you know what I mean? And pull the socks up to the knees and give me a big knot of money. I want to put that in my sock, give me some hoop earrings. And, I just crafted him after people I knew. And he's just he's probably my favorite character to date that I've played on TV, because he's just laid back. He's, he has a good time. If you get on Big L's bad side, he could have that quiet intensity, and lean in on you. But he's a good guy. He's a good dude. But yeah, man, you try to find different traits that, you make a list and you say, okay, how am I like this character? Or what would I do in this situation? So you got to break it down. All you young actors, you got to break it down. And the more specific you are, the more that character just, comes alive and pops, So yeah.
Speaking of P Valley, and it's beautiful that this has been your favorite character to date, that being Big L rather. It's so raw, and it's such a realistic portrayal of not only what a Black neighborhood is, but also the aspirations that people have and the life of strippers, but also making them human. It's a person that happens to be a stripper. As a man placed in their world, what did you take away from that story?
Hey, man, my job is rough on that set. Like, as you saw the show, and I had to little sister everybody, because it was just like, it's beautiful, beautiful women. And you're just like, hey, sister, how you doing? But my job is rough on that set. But being in that world as a man, you respect it. You respect, because I know women who used to dance. I know women who still dance. And you can't pass judgment on what they do. Especially in places where it's an art form when done right. Now every strip club isn't the same. Let's get that straight. Some is some shady things going on.
Experience? What's happening?
So I heard. Okay. But, we all come from somewhere. You don't know what anybody's home life growing up, social economics are, what they're trying to do. I mean, I know a lot of women who put themselves through school. I know a lot of people who, they had a bad childhood, and, they ran away from home, and I'm not saying everybody has that, story like that, but I try not to judge what people do. I just like, okay, well, whatever, you know what I mean? That's you. That's not the whole, because people can say, oh, you're an actor, you're always on. How do I know you're telling the truth? You're just like, that's just my job, man. You know what I mean? There's so many facets to who I am. It's just so, and I've been, I've dated, a woman or two, and they're just like, oh, you're an actor. You're always, I don't know when you're being serious. You're just like, okay. So I try, because people have, done it to me or prejudged me, I try not to prejudge everybody else. So for me, man, I respect anybody's hustle. As long as you're not trying to stick me up, put a gun in my face, sell drugs, or break into my home, hey, I mind my business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mind my business.
You're out here, man, just doing you. And talking about doing you, the latest movie you on, the Wendy Williams movie, her biopic, you playing a character of a man who literally turned her life upside down. We've heard multiple stories about, Kevin. Let's talk about you getting ready for the role, and when, I don't know if they reached out to you or did you audition for the movie? Maybe we can start there.
They reached out to me.
Okay.
My manager called. I was painting my steps. I've told the story so many times. Like, I was painting my steps. It's the pandemic. I'm like, well, let me do some renovations. Let me paint these steps. I'm tired of looking at these steps. And I was painting. And my managers, when more than one manager is on the phone, this is business. So I was like, hey, what's up? They were like, oh, it's not about P-Valley, because I'm negotiating with P-Valley for season 2. I was like, oh, okay, well, what's going on? They were like, oh, there's this movie, Wendy Williams movie. They want you in Canada, Vancouver, on Wednesday. I was like, what movie? I don't know nothing about it. What are you talking about? What do you mean Wednesday? It's Monday now. I don't know. I said, they were like, it's an offer. It's a straight offer. You don't have to audition. They want you to do the role. I said, well, send me the script. Let me read it. So they sent me the script. I skimmed through it. I was like, let me look at all my scenes. Let me see what I'm doing. Okay, all right, cool. And then we started the negotiation process. And I was on a plane. Like I say, this conversation took place on Monday. I was on a plane Thursday. So I really didn't have time to, I had 2 weeks quarantine in Canada. So that was the time I got to study the character and study the script. I'm looking up Kevin Hunter on YouTube, trying to find things on this brother that, any videos, any interviews, and there was only one phone interview. So I heard his voice, very New York, very bubble, bang, what's up, you? How you doing? Let me tell you what's going on. It was very like that. So I listened to that interview over and over again just to get the cadence and the texture of his voice. But then I didn't know if he was left-handed or right-handed. I didn't know how he sat. I didn't know what was his drink of choice. Like all the things that I like to know about a character if they really live, which I played on stage. So I had a bunch of pictures of him and just how he wore his jewelry, how he wore his skull cap or hats or glasses or, So I had that. I had his voice. And then I had the script of what people said about him in different interviews of what people said about him. And I knew he was from Brooklyn. And then I came across an interview of Fat Joe, big ups to Fat Joe. And Fat Joe is real New York. He's just real like, yo, I'm saying, dog, just real like, I'm a boss type dude, right? So I was like, okay, Fat Joe. And then I saw Dame Dash. And Dame Dash, same thing. Dame Dash is like, yo, I'm, this and that, straight New York. So I kind of meshed Fat Joe and Dame Dash together and came up with the character Kevin Hunter, And, hopefully, Wendy said it was good. She said, yeah, I captured him, and people who watched it, so I really do hope that it comes off, successfully. Yeah. Because as artists, as Erykah Badu, we're sensitive about our stuff. And, every time you step on a screen, step on a set, step on a stage, you want to do honest work. And I approached every character with some humanity. I got to give them some humanity because, when you tackle a character, you can't be like, well, I'm the bad guy, so I'm going to be bad. I'm going to be bad everywhere. No, then it's just one note. So you have to find the different layers and the different notes and the different moments of, okay, the sensitivity, the love, the the betrayal. There's different layers of that, that leads you down a rabbit hole, and the reason why. And I'm always trying to get to the reason why someone did something. Right? Why did he do this? And I'm breaking this down. Well, why did he do this? Well, what made him do that? What did she do? And how did he get turned off? And why did he start cheating? And then how did he get this woman pregnant? And why did he get this woman pregnant? Well, what was she doing? So it's like you're a mad scientist, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the why and the conflict always drives the story. But I've got 2 questions.
Right.
Number 1, what are you gonna do if Kevin hits you up? If he hits you up and he talks, pardon?
If he hits me up?
Yeah, what if he hits you up? He's like, yo, that was rubbish. Meet me outside. I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go along. That's 1. 2, you played opposite Ciara Payton, and a lot of people are just like, she'll be the perfect person to play Wendy. Now you're in quarantine for 2 weeks. You're creating this character. Ciara's on the other end also trying to get into Wendy. When you 2 meet, did you think it was a perfect match that these 2 people are playing these real life characters? And if not Kevin, who do you think could have been Kevin? If you, who could have been Kevin? Yes.
All right, let me answer your first question. If Kevin Hunter hit me up and say this is rubbish and meet me somewhere, I'll be like, come on, bro, really? This is acting, man. Come on, man. But I'm not running from him. You know what I mean? I'm not like, if I see him out, like, come on, what's up, brother? So no, I mean, when you walk with the ancestors, man, you don't fear anything. You know what I mean? Like I said, I had a moment in a war, and I had to get over the fear of death. And when you can get over the fear of death, then you can live. So I don't think I portrayed the brother in a way, and even if I did, that he's going to be upset, at himself or at me for playing him. So it's just like, whatever, man. If you want to be childish, then whatever, man. I mean, like I always say, my mama didn't raise no punk. But on the when I met Ciara, and beautiful sister and incredible actress, and we sat down and because we were doing Zoom meetings while we were in quarantine for that 2 weeks. So we would just read through the lines, break down the different notes and the emotional beats and everything. And you could, it's like, it doesn't, you guys are in radio. There are people that, you can, yeah, he knows his way around that. He's very personable. He can boom, 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 hold a conversation, interview. You can tell in just a regular conversation that, your craft. You know what I'm saying? So I knew Ciara knew her craft. I didn't know her prior to this. But once I sat down with her and was doing the Zoom meetings, it was just like, okay, we have something going that we both understand where we need to go in this journey that we need to take. Who could have played Kevin Hunter besides me? There's a lot of actors that I don't know if you know this brother, Russell Hornsby, he's dope. Steve Harris. There's a few actors, that could play this character, I'm not one of those, I'm not, arrogant to think that I'm the only one who could play, such things, and I give it up to all my actors, man, because I love seeing my people work. So yeah, I could think of 10 actors who could play this role, Now I'm not gonna say they're gonna play it better than me, but I know 10 actors who could play this role, you know what I mean? I was just fortunate and lucky enough to do it, and hopefully I was able to do it successfully, so. That was, she's trying to throw trick questions up in here. She's trying to question my character over here.
I'm sure every character you take on comes with their own challenges. Like, what was the biggest challenge with this character?
The biggest challenge with this character is he's alive. And the brother who's alive is a ghost. So I really had blindfolds on because I didn't have access to Wendy Williams or Charlemagne the God to really just like, or Kevin himself to say, tell me about this, brother. Or, like, I would love to just, if I'm gonna play a character, let me hang out with him. Let me ask different questions. Like, what's your sign? What's your birthday? What's your favorite color? What do you like to eat? What's your favorite meal? What do you wear at home? What do you sleep in? Boxes, briefs, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. What's your favorite drink? Like I said, do you smoke cigars? Do you smoke cigarettes? Do you smoke weed? And what hand do you use with? How do you dance? The movements. We all have different movements of what we do. So I would have loved to have been able to do that. So that was a challenge because I had to just say, you know what? I'm not going to get access to this, brother. I'm not going to get this information. So I have to create it. Yeah. So it was more work. Whereas Sierra, Wendy, you can find Wendy anywhere, but that's equally hard because Wendy is such a big personality. Now you have to match that, and people are going to say, well, they're going to hold, the two beside each other and say, did she get Wendy or not? Whereas my character's a ghost, and only people who really had interaction with him, they're going to be like, he didn't get it. But the masses is going to be like, yo, cool.
You
So
get room to question, Wendy a little bit around Kevin?
No.
Was this on purpose?
No.
Purposefully?
No, she called Sierra. Well, she called Sierra, because Sierra's playing her. Yeah. But whatever that divorce is, she didn't really care who played. I heard she was like, she don't care who plays Kevin. She don't care how you play him. Because of, if depending on the day or how you feel about your ex, she was like, whatever. You can play him like a crazy man if you want to. I mean, I didn't get that from Wendy's mouth, but I got that from another different source who's just like, man, listen, it's Wendy's more concerned with, how Sierra portrays her than who portrays Kevin Hunter. Because, I mean, you got to think that was a bitter divorce.
Yeah.
He got another woman pregnant and he bought a house less than 10 miles away from their house. You know what I mean? I'm thinking if someone did me like that, who's playing her? Oh, okay, cool.
Last question from me. Do you, what I'm curious about rather is with this press run, because we haven't seen it yet in South Africa. When you guys do this press run, are you getting interviewed by Wendy on the Wendy Williams show?
It just aired today, actually.
Oh, how did that?
Yeah, just aired about an hour ago. I missed it because I was doing press. I was doing something else, but it aired about 2 hours ago, and people were hitting me up like, "Yo, yeah." So we were on the show, today. We did the interview yesterday and it aired today, but I'm sure it'll be on YouTube tomorrow or later on today.
Okay.
But, the press, it goes real quick. It's like, 10 minutes, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Outside of, P-Valley, you just told us that you're busy with negotiations. What can we be on the lookout for 2021 productions that you're working on at the moment? Can you reveal anything?
Just P-Valley right now, man. And, we'll see what happens with this movie. We'll see what kind of traction we get with this movie. I have a film, like I was saying, we did a film in Uganda called The Girl in the Yellow Jumper that I produced. And, hopefully we can get it on Netflix Africa. We're just trying to find an end where we can put this movie up because I think it's a really good movie. No disrespect to South African films and Nigerian films and Kenyan films, but I think this film, this Ugandan film, deserves to be on there as well. I don't think there's any Ugandan film on Netflix. Nigeria is so strong. And what I was telling the filmmaker, I said, listen, man, when we look at the numbers, you say the higher ups at Netflix, we say, okay, This is how many subscribers we have in Nigeria. This is how many subscribers we have in South Africa. This is how many subscribers we have in Kenya. So as someone who's on top of Netflix, I'm like, well, I'm gonna put out Nigerian films, South African films, and Kenyan films because their people are gonna watch it. Now, if you only have a few subscribers in Uganda, who's gonna watch a Ugandan film?
Mm.
You know what I mean? When we put I was in 21 Bridges with Chadwick Boseman, you know, rest in peace. And I know people in Uganda, and I'm like, yo, man, go see the movie. Go see the movie. It's out. Oh, man, I'll see it in a few weeks. I'm like, no. And it's not like a movie going culture. I just found this out. You know, people don't go to the movies when they first come out in Uganda. You know, Nigeria, they're there. Uganda, nah. You know, so I was like, when the last time you went to a movie? Oh, man. You know, and it's usually some filmmaker who rented out the theater and they'll go and see it. Otherwise, they can go and take their, you know, external jump drive, go and put 10 movies on there for $10.
Yeah.
This is
plug
amazing.
it into their computer.
You know,
And that's
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, I was saying that's one of the challenges of Netflix. It's like, man, he was like, man, it'll take me 5 hours just to watch a TV show because of the Wi-Fi sometimes. And I was like, oh, now I get why, you know, people aren't subscribing to Netflix a lot of times, because it's just like, if your Wi-Fi network isn't strong, you're sitting there like, it's frozen. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So that's one of the challenges of trying to push this Ugandan film.
Yeah. A cosign goes a long way for someone who's so tapped in the continent and actors and the arts. Are there any actors or actresses you've seen in the continent that you feel like the world needs to pay attention to? Your top 5.
Oh, of course, man. I mean, you know, South Africa, y'all got some hitters, man. My man, Presley's my dude.
Yeah.
When I saw Sosi, I was like, I forgot the lady who played opposite of him. She does well. She's great.
Terry Peto.
Yeah. Yeah, South Africa got some hitters. And then I was watching you guys had a TV show with Pearl Thusi.
Yeah.
Pearl, what's Pearl's?
Pearl Thusi.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. Yeah. She's good. It was like a lot of, you know, good talent on there. And then like we have some hitters in Uganda, man, that I want the world to see. Very, very raw, and they're fearless actors. Same with Kenya, same with Rwanda. Well, Rwanda's a little laid back, but we got some good actors there. I just got to pull it out of them. And of course, Nigeria. Nigeria got hitters, man. And it's, you know, and I was supposed to do a workshop in Cameroon in April, but then COVID hit. So hopefully I'll get to Cameroon sometime soon to do that workshop, and get down to South Africa as well, and get back to Botswana. Botswana has good actors, man. We have good actors in Botswana. So I'm always like, you know, and the thing about, you know, a good actor is a good listener. You know, and you study and you know, we listen and we react to what someone is giving us. So a lot of those actors were, you know, they were just like, man, they were on it. They were like, and I'll give them a redirection, and they were hitting it. So you have some very good actors, scary good, man. And I hope the world gets to see them.
Yeah.
You know, get to see more of them, you know. What up, Presley? If Presley's watching, what's up, my man? I need to give him a call. He's a good brother.
Awesome, man. Good conversation. You must check out Altavis on Netflix. What? I'll promo for
I will.
Yeah. What's the name?
Are you on? What show are you on? She didn't tell me she was an actor.
Yeah. What's the show? What's the show?
I'm on Queen. This is very awkward.
Why?
Sorry.
Nah.
We've got 2 films on Netflix under the South African banner, doing things here in South Africa too. I've been out to Atlanta twice, so hopefully in the next 10 years I'll be a household name. We'll see how it goes.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And what's the name of the 2 shows again?
There's Netflix, there is Shadow, there is, what's the film with Sandra? Love by Chance. That's a film.
But I'm saying the name of the two. You're on both. What's the name of the show? You're on two shows or two
On
movies?
Netflix?
Yes.
On Netflix, there's Queen Sono that had Pearl Tusi in it. There is Shadow,
Yeah,
which
Queen
is
Sono.
one of the first South African Netflix originals. Love by Chance, which is an
Okay.
African film. I'm on one with Erica
Mhm.
Hubbard and Brad. Forgot Brad. He just married Kara Pullum. Yeah, I forgot the name of that film, but
I know
yeah,
Erica Hubbard.
yeah,
I know Erica Hubbard from
Yeah.
Chicago. Yeah. I know Erica from a long time.
Her.
Right. Yeah, right on. Then I'm gonna look you up. I'm gonna check you. I'm gonna check and see.
Lesbian.
I'm a Google you too. Sounds very. But yes,
Congratulations.
you've been great. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's what's
I have to plug and do some promo work. Now I'm like the manager, like, get it in. You know what I mean? So he can get you in.
right.
You know?
Hey man, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, like collectively, man. Because I love talking to older actors, and it was just like when Denzel was coming up, you had Denzel, Sam Jackson, Wesley Snipes, and all of the Viola Davis, and all these guys, or Morgan Freeman, all doing theater together. You know what I mean? They came up together. I mean, some are older than others, but you look at that crew, and now you're just like, these are the guys you like, whoa, man. These guys came up doing August Wilson and just, little black box, we call it black box theater, these little theaters, man, and just, working out, training the acting muscle. So anytime I get to hook up with creatives and actors and filmmakers, man, I'm always down because I'm not limited just to my country. You know what I mean? You have to, like, I would love to come down and do something in South Africa, you know what I mean? And get out and get on the ground and get gritty, because that's what it's all about. We kind of like box ourselves in. We're like, oh, well, this is an American story. And it's just like, okay, we got different cultures all in America. You got different cultures that migrate to South Africa. It's just like, it's possible. It's possible. We just open the story up, So yeah, man, I look forward to seeing you. I've probably seen your work in Queen's Song.
Yeah.
Probably already seen it. I probably already seen it.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Congratulations. That's what's
Thank
up.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you, man. Thank you very much for accepting the invite and just chatting to us, and all the best of luck on everything, and congratulations with this role, and can't wait to see what the critics will say. I don't think you care though, but thank you for this conversation, man.
We do care. Just a bit.
I can't even, you know what I mean? Everybody's gonna criticize and all that. You're just like,
Yeah.
whatever, man.
Mm.
It's like painting a picture. You just like 10 people looking at it, and they're gonna have 10 different, comments about it. And you can't worry about it. You just say, look, this is the art that I was feeling, and this is what I painted. And then the next painting will be something totally different. But I'm gonna keep on walking forward with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I appreciate it, man. And thank you. It's been too long, man. I've been in South Africa in like 4 or 5 years now. It's been too long.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
But let's get this vaccine, and then we'll see how everything goes.
Yeah, because everyone is scared of us.
Yeah, everybody's scared of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Omari, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, brother.
Have a good day.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it. All right. Peace.